You are listening to an Infowars.com frontline report. It's Alex Jones.
It's Tuesday, November 7th, 2017. I'm your host, Alex Jones. We have several informative guests today and also intend to open the phones up to take your phone calls. Well, President Trump is delivering yet again as the economy continues to surge. Countless signs show the global establishment is beginning to buckle desperately as massive prosperity is shoved in their faces. That is a byproduct of what Trump's doing. Even the ultra-rich that are anti-prosperity for the general public, by and large, are having to buckle with the global resurgence of Americana. It is incredible. And President Trump continued to deliver. He's now in South Korea. We'll get into that later. When they attacked him on the Second Amendment, he said, no, more guns are the answer. Good guys stopping bad guys. Not even the Republican establishment will talk like that. This is absolutely true. In fact, we have flat mass shootings the last 20 years. Overall shootings are down 61%, according to the FBI's own numbers, since 1992. They hit their peak in 1988. Believe me, I remember when they were having 60 murders a weekend in Dallas, and it was the murder capital of the U.S., not Chicago. I remember the peak, 1988. But the point is that it's down 61%. They're creating this perception. But still, if you're one of the 26 dead, it's still so real. But to see Hispanic and white and black folks hugging each other at the vigil and to see the two heroes was just amazing, to see how these tragedies take us together and how the people in the town aren't letting them use it to disarm the public. Texas strong. I'm proud of my state. At the same time, I'm very, very sad by the tragedy. Here's a clip of the president in Seoul, South Korea, having the topic brought up to him and telling the truth.
You've talked about wanting to put extreme vetting on people trying to come into the United States, but I wonder if you would consider extreme vetting for people trying to buy a gun.
Well, you know, you're bringing up a situation that probably shouldn't be discussed too much right now, but it's okay if you feel that that's an appropriate question, even though we're the heart of South Korea. If you did what you're suggesting, there would have been no difference 3 days ago, and you might not have had that very brave person who happened to have a gun or a rifle in his truck go out and shoot him and hit him and neutralize him. And I can only say this: if he didn't have a gun, instead of having 26 dead, he would have had hundreds more dead.
And are you considering any kind of gun control policy going forward?
When you look at the city with the strongest gun laws in our nation is Chicago. Mm-hmm. And Chicago is a disaster. If this man didn't have a gun or a rifle, you'd be talking about a much worse situation in the great state of Texas.
Out of the park. Truth. Veritas. Again, I now know more MO on Trump, not just from articles I've read going back 30 years, but from people that have known him very closely, not just Stone, but Stone confirmed it all at dinner this weekend. Somebody's got to make a documentary about the Trumps. His dad was a secret John Bircher funding anti-communist stuff. I mean, I already knew some of that. And Trump was like a Patriot sleeper cell. It's incredible. Just like Dr. Corsi said last year before he got elected, he said, Trump knew everything you knew, Alex, before you were born. And the way he played this whole thing, I can't believe this is happening. Let's go out to break with one of the heroes who's saying he's not a hero, Stephen Wilford from Sutherland. Here it is.
Is the people at that church. They're friends of mine, their family. And every time I heard a shot, I knew that that probably represented a life. I was scared to death. I was scared for me, and I was scared for every one of them. And I was scared for my own family that just lived less than a block away. I'm no hero. I am not.
We'll be back with more of this hero. Stay with us. If it wasn't so dangerous, it'd be comical to watch CNN, MSNBC, NBC, ABC, CBS constantly caught in fake news. constantly caught doing dirty tricks against America, against Christians, against gun owners, and nastily stirring up racial and cultural divides to play us off against each other. It's just so nasty. It's so villainous. It's so scumbaggery. It's so low. But the good news is people more and more are watching it. They're aware of it. They're sick of it. And they're breaking with it. And I've got stacks of news here today from Africa to Asia to Latin America, South America, North America, the UK, where the global order of the United Nations EU program of unelected planetary government is collapsing. Now that it's out in the open, now that people know it's authoritarian, now that people know its aims, it is dead on arrival. Just as I envisioned it would be, knowing that something that's authoritarian, if we just exposed it, once it finally had to emerge in the final takeover phase, people would be ready to reject it. Even though we'd be demonized in the process before it was admitted, by exposing it, we would be absolutely the definition of credibility once it was admitted. I mean, for me, that was just a common sense situation. But even if the general public still didn't wake up, enough thinking intellectual individuals would understand we were facing organized authoritarian criminal technocracy and resist it. And the resistance has just begun. But I tell you, the Deus Ex, right out of nowhere, Donald Trump completely hiding who he was, not in a deceptive way, being anti-NAFTA, anti-GATT, anti-globalist, but in his public persona, just being the hotel and casino and golf course owner, and then sucker punching the globalists so hard. I'm going to do a whole report on his dad and his older brother and the intel that I've gotten that I was able to then confirm in news articles from 40, 50 years ago. I've gone into the LexisNexis, the Thomson Reuters systems, and found it all here and there, but it's all true. Donald Trump's dad was giving to the John Birch Society and John Welch when it first was founded. I mean, we have a secret, basically, as the president, with all the stamina and with the gravitas and with the charisma that Ron Paul didn't have and that Barry Goldwater didn't have and that, quite frankly, Ronald Reagan didn't have. I mean, Trump has already eclipsed Reagan in what he's done in 10 months. But again, everything is timing. Reagan was not born into a time where the stakes were so high. Reagan was not president when the stakes were this high. They were serious. The globalists were trying to bankrupt us and take control of us. But man, when Trump came in, right as the global wave was cresting against globalism, it's biblical. It's providence. And when Ronald Reagan met Trump at a White House dinner, one time he said, I felt like I was shaking the hand of the president. There's that photo of them meeting. Let's pull up Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump. There's just destiny, ladies and gentlemen. There's destiny written all over this. And everything you've done and I've done and Drudge has done and all of us together building towards the awakening, it's just over the top. And Trump is just delivering. And more they can't hold it back, and they're panicking and they're turning on each other, and the globalists are running scared at the DNC. The German military is planning and drilling for a breakup of the European Union in 2040. They don't want to panic people. How about 5 years from now? The European Union, as we know it, will be gone by 2022. Before the clock strikes December 31st, 2022, mark my words, the European Union will be completely dissolved. I'll be surprised if it lasts to 2020. You heard it here again, ladies and gentlemen. Deep analysis, deep historical research, deep focus, deep commitment. And I'm telling you right now, for all intents and purposes, within 2.5 years, it's going to be ceremonial, and they're going to prop it up just so the institutions can keep robbing and looting, and it will be gone in 5 years. 5 years from now, the European Union will be gone. And it's been politically even more fast-growing and cancerous and more successful than the Soviet Union, because it was able to come in through UNESCO, that Trump just pulled out of, and control our policies. UNESCO runs the State Department immigrant program. The UN decides who comes in. And Trump's like, 7 countries don't even have real passports, and the UN says we're bringing people in from Somalia and Sudan and Libya. How about double hockey sticks? No. H-E double hockey sticks. London Telegraph, German army plans for breakup of the European Union. Analysis, house tax would create nearly 1 million new jobs and increase GDP by 3.9%. That means we'd be 7.1%. And they said we'd never even hit 3. It's 3.1. Eat it, globalist. Eat it. And it doesn't mean we're out of the woods, but you know what? They want to fight. They're about to get one, because this is just the start. And I could smell blood, can't you? That coppery smell in the air. I smell globalist blood. I smell cornered rats. Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of globalist scum. And be they alive or be they dead, I'll grind their bones to make my bread. I love the fighting spirit. I can feel it rising. Oh, House Freedom Caucus backs bill to end the diversity lottery that brought in the guy that ran over and killed a bunch of people in New York last week and injured more, killed 8 people. Really, he brought over 28 of his friends and family and relatives, and it turns out almost none of them had jobs. Of course. Bring it. Look. Let the jihadis stay in Uzbekistan and Afghanistan and kill each other. And keep women as slaves and have boy sex slaves. Oh, my gosh. I'm going to go to break, and I'm going to come back. Indonesia, which is mainly Muslim, in a bid to root out Islamists, throws spotlight on universities. Yeah, the Muslims are fighting the radical Muslims everywhere. And then, of course, we knew it was coming. When we come back, the Texas scumbag shooter was a crypto-Satanist. That's what a lot of atheists are. And I'm not saying all atheists are Satanists. A lot of nice people are atheists. A lot of intellectuals. A lot of folks that don't like corrupt churches and fake religion. But there are a lot of crypto-Satanists that kind of push their anti-Christian agenda through being atheists. And it turns out atheist, occult, liked to beat up kids, and was a pedophile. It's confirmed. That's right, was a pedophile. The only girls he could pick up were 12, 13 years old when he was a grown man, an arrested development thug, creepy piece of garbage that hated Christians and wanted to strike, just like Rand Paul got attacked, just like all these other attacks. This guy that tried to attack the White House last night came to kill the whites for November 4th. By the way, folks, things are moving so fast here at InfoWars that I don't even have time to cover all the special events we're doing or to plug they're coming up. We had live Saturday coverage of Antifa's supposed national uprising, which was a dud, but then we saw Rand Paul attacked. We saw the guy try to attack the White House and, in quote, kill as many white police as he could last night. Another Antifa-connected fella, another deranged lunatic. We've seen the atheist, crypto-Satanist, death worshiper who was anti-Christian attack this church. We've seen the leftist connections of the Vegas shooter and the connections to Saudi Arabia. So we covered those big events. on Saturday. And then Sunday, we were also live for most of the day. Starting tomorrow at 8 a.m. Central with David Knight and The Real News, right through to the end of the broadcast the next day with Owen Schroyer at 6 p.m. Central with The War Room, we're going to broadcast 30-plus hours live with our amazing, intrepid crew. So again, more and more live broadcasts, more and more live radio/TV shows, more syndicated programs with The War Room and Real News and InfoWars Live with yours truly, Alex Jones. But starting tomorrow, 8 a.m. Central, 34-hour coverage, American rebirth and renaissance, 1 year after the historic victory, celebrating all the really positive things that have happened in one basket. We've got a big scale we're actually going to have on air, and then some of the bad things that we haven't been able to get done yet or that Trump hasn't completely delivered on. We're going to be discussing that as well. The good, the bad, and the ugly. But this is all part of the negotiation with Trump, and he is basically taking the globalist to the woodshed. So tomorrow, historic transmission broadcast, 8 a.m., right through to the next day, 6 p.m., 34-hour continued live transmission. We've made a lot of mini documentaries about the first 100 days and the next 100 days, and now 10 months in, we're going to chronicle and take your phone calls and have special guests on and talk about all the incredibly exciting things that have happened, all the things that have unfolded. The killing of TPP, the renegotiation of NAFTA and GATT, 69% reduction in illegals coming across the borders, 50+% more visits for veterans going to the VA, opening it up to private clinics, the stock market up at record levels, record new jobs coming back to the U.S., wages being the highest they've been since 1984, new job startups, some of the best in U.S. history. Consumer confidence way up, all because optimism's back in, and we believe in prosperity again, and we believe in innovation again. That's called the American system. That's the flower of the Enlightenment and the Renaissance, and it's back with Donald John Trump. It's back with you. It's back with me. It's back with all of us, and it's about optimism. It's not about a utopia. It's about stopping the globalist dystopia and moving forward. And it starts with private citizens taking care of their families and standing up for each other and having a real sense of community and a real sense of coming together. And that's what real Christians have, and that's why globalists and communists all over the world strive to ban it. Because in Sutherland, Texas, we see Hispanics, whites, blacks, folks all coming together, many of them married, with children, loving each other at that memorial service yesterday that brought tears to my eyes when I watched it last night. I watched the tape of the live broadcast that we'd actually carried with Owen Schroyer, and it brought tears to my eyes to see these heroes coming together and their courage, and to see them saying that they weren't heroes. So let's play a clip right now of Stephen Wilford, who again is an NRA trainer. They try to blame the NRA for the attack, as if an organization is to blame for another Antifa person in a black uniform who hated God and hated Christians and was also a pedophile, we're now learning, who illegally got a gun. The Air Force should have transferred the files over because of his dishonorable discharge. He shouldn't have got the gun. So again, the system itself, from someone who was already banned from having firearms, broke down. So here, ladies and gentlemen, is the hero who says he wasn't a hero.
Is the people at that church. They're friends of mine, their family. And every time I heard a shot, I knew that that probably represented a life. I was scared to death. I was scared for me, and I was scared for every one of them, and I was scared for my own family that just lived less than a block away. I'm no hero. I am not. I think my God, my Lord, protected me and gave me the skills to do what needed to be done. And I just wish I could have gotten there faster, but I didn't know. I didn't know what was happening.
And we're not blaming any of the victims, but I never carried a firearm all the time until the last year. And it's because of Antifa and all the rest of these people. And I get to be in the position that police officers are in, where I am a target because the left knows who I am. If they don't know who you are and you're a Christian, a conservative, a libertarian, you don't get to experience it unless you have a bumper sticker or a T-shirt on. But if you're a police officer, it doesn't matter what color you are, the average leftist will spit at you, will file false complaints on you, will try to run you off the road, will physically attack you, or will shoot you in the back of your head. And so I don't make that point to say, oh, look, I'm this victim. Oh, look, I go through what police go through. It's that I'm identifiable, that the globalist and the leftist and their followers know who I am. And so you don't know what that's like unless you're somebody in a uniform or who is recognizable. And when you're recognizable, you learn just how dangerous they are, and it is a wake-up call, where I carry a firearm and have security now because I have to. Because everybody's seen what they do on the streets. They're animals. They're crazy. Here's President Trump talking about good men standing up against bad men, and that good men with guns stop bad guys with guns from South Korea. Here's part of it.
You've talked about wanting to put extreme vetting on people trying to come into the United States, but I wonder if you would consider extreme vetting for people trying to buy a gun.
Well, you know, you're bringing up a situation that probably shouldn't be discussed too much right now, but it's okay if you feel that that's an appropriate question, even though we're the heart of South Korea. If you did what you're suggesting, there would have been no difference 3 days ago, and you might not have had that very brave person who happened to have a gun or a rifle in his truck go out and shoot him and hit him and neutralize him. And I can only say this, if he didn't have a gun, instead of having 26 dead, he would have had hundreds more dead.
And are you considering any kind of gun control policy going
When you
forward?
look at these,
That's our president, folks, the real deal. President Obama bowed to the Saudi king. She bowed to the Emperor of Japan. He bowed to basically anybody that would give him money. But it was very symbolic yesterday when President Trump met with the Emperor of Japan and did not bow to him. And, of course, the Emperor did not bow to him either. There was a nice little nod of the forehead of respect like you do anybody. Impeccable ethics and etiquette. And, of course, he did just like the Japanese Prime Minister did when they first did a few scoops of the koi and then dumped the whole box in. That's what you do. And the media said, oh, look at the ethics. He's an idiot. He's a moron. He's a fool. And they zoomed in on the president artificially from the wide shot, showing him dump the full box in and saying that the Japanese were shocked by it. Lying about every angle there is. And sure, you're like, okay, they lied about that. They'll lie about anything and everything. They literally twist every angle they can to make our president look like a buffoon because he's actually working for you to bring prosperity back and cut your taxes and right the economy and cut the deficit. It's just incredible to witness it. Coming up in the next segment, they had congressional hearings last Friday, and I guess no one noticed until yesterday. There was an article written at Infowars.com where they have members of Congress and the tech giant heads actually say Infowars must be banned. And they say, yes, we're trying to ban them now. We need AI to really stop Infowars. I mean, you cannot make it up. I'm going to play that in the next segment. I should have started the broadcast with it. What are they scared of? They're scared that we're going to show you the full video of Trump doing what the Prime Minister did, and then we're going to show the video CNN edited. I mean, that's why they don't like us, folks. It's the same reason they don't like Drudge, because Drudge had the same video up yesterday showing how they lied. They just don't want us there. And there's a famous imam that did warn de Blasio in person and at rallies that Islamists were planning truck attacks. He's been all over Fox News, you name it. They say that's the fake news that Paul Watson wrote about and that they want it banned. And then the head of technology for Twitter says, yes, we're working on stopping InfoWars. And then there's links to videos and tweets of the imam on Fox News warning de Blasio. I mean, that's coming up next segment. It's coming up next. I mean, I'm going to play these videos. It's astounding. Before I go any further, if they can shut us up, they can shut you up. And I know I say that every hour or so because it's true. And without you remembering InfoWars and without you financially supporting us and supporting our local affiliates and buying the products, we're not going to be here because they're coming after us. And they're trying to block us everywhere where we can naturally reach people. And then naturally they've shut down our sponsors and kicked us off Google ads. And they're just hitting us everywhere. Ad roll. I mean, you see it in the news every week where we're being banned here, banned there. But still, you've come through, so we're getting more AM and FM affiliates, more TV affiliates, more cable affiliates, who we don't list so they don't get harassed. They just get the support. And we're growing despite them trying to stop us. But believe me, they're test modeling us to shut everybody else down. So I need you to go to InfoWarsStore.com and pick a great vitamin or mineral or other supplement you need, or the high-quality non-GMO coffee from southern Mexico in the Chiapas Mountains there. It's my favorite coffee. And just sign up for auto-ship, an additional 10% off. That way, every 15 days, every month, every 60, every 90, it's just one click. You can cancel anytime. It gets mailed to you, and so we get that little stipend or that little tithe for the Republic, the war bonds, to help fund this operation and expand in the face of the globalists and get more crew and take care of the great crew we've got. So please commit today to go to InfoWarsStore.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. We have high-quality fluoride-free toothpaste with colloidal silver and iodine in it, super blue, and we have it for children. We have the super blue mouthwash that's super high quality and concentrated. We have DNA Force sold out for months, almost 4 months back in stock. Our Biome Defense Probiotic is the best out there. We're working on stuff even more potent and powerful. InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. And we have the new T-shirt of the month. And it's just this month, it's a knockoff of the Antifa symbol, but it's an American flag and a Gadsden flag, and it says we're anti-fascist and anti-communist. It absolutely triggers them. It's a great seller. It's $13, folks. The new T-shirt of the month is discounted. Great way to spread the word, InfoWarsStore.com. And we've only got, 2-3 weeks left of you being able to get that shirt. Gavin Wentz came up with the design. Great job, Gavin. Okay, that said, the usual suspects have come out, people like Piers Morgan, and demonized the Texas Attorney General that said he believes we don't need more gun control because what we need is law-abiding citizens to be armed so that when crazy psychopaths occasionally do what we're seeing happen, good people are able to stand up against them. And believe me, folks, if you research the data as we've done, you see the evidence that Paddock and this latest creature, Kelly, are crypto, atheist, devil worshiper, scumbag types who, as usual, I said, are connected to pedophilia. Now Paddock's brother has been arrested for child porn, the other one for drug dealing. Now it's come out that Kelly was a pedophile, had been caught being a pedophile, and also had fractured his wife's child's skull. The Air Force didn't do its job and send forward the file to the FBI into the database, the NICS database. He would have been barred from buying firearms. So it was illegal for him to own guns. And so that's all confirmed today. But what makes me sick about Piers Morgan is he has armed response at his L.A. home. That's been confirmed. Project Veritas showed it. An armed van that drives around with guys with semi-automatic shotguns and rifles in front of his house. And he's got bodyguards. I've run into him. And I was on a show. They tried to kind of bully me as I left the building like I was scared of them. Give me a break. And he's now attacked the Attorney General of Texas and Lieutenant Governor and others similarly for saying exactly what President Trump said yesterday, calling them idiots, calling them morons. Here's the first one right here. Cuomo also is demonized, but you're a brainless moron. Piers Morgan blasts Texas Attorney General after he claims the only way to stop mass shootings is for more people to take guns to church, which is true. You need to have security everywhere now because if you're a Christian or conservative, you're a target. Well, he's calling him a moron, but Trump says that. But see, Morgan wants to cozy up to Trump, so he doesn't attack Trump. He just attacks a surrogate. He's a total calculating fraud. Here's Piers Morgan, and then we'll come back with other clips.
Obviously the answer, isn't it? You brainless morons. Sorry, that's what you are, Texas Attorney General, a brainless moron.
Moron.
Unfortunately, the response being either that it's not a gun situation or more guns.
How can it not be a gun situation, Mr. Trump?
We have psychotic devil worshippers that want to kill us. Statistically, gun crime's down 61% since 1992. FBI statistics. Mass shootings are flat. They're trying to hype up more of them. We will protect ourselves, filth. You understand that? Hitler took the guns. Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. And if you try to take our firearms, 1776 will commence again. Is that clear, you little hypocritical filth bag? American rebirth and renaissance. 1 year after the historic victory. Kicks off tomorrow at 8 a.m. Central with The Real News with David Knight. 11 a.m. Central with yours truly, Alex Jones. In the War Room with Owen Schroyer, Roger Stone, and others. Right through 6 o'clock. And then we're going to continue with Leanne McAdoo and so many other guest hosts. Myself, right through 24 hours through the night. A total 34-hour transmission where we're going to play whole 30-minute clips of election night last year when the left got the message at 3 in the morning. And Trump coming in and his victory speech and Newsweek already printing up that Hillary had won, and then the leftist and the howling and them attacking people on Inauguration Day. And then we're going to look at all the accomplishments, where we failed, where we need to redouble our efforts. This is going to be an important retrospective and then looking forward tomorrow at 8 a.m. Central, Infowars.com/show. So whether it's the Libertarian, that's his handle on Twitter, or Real Alex Jones, or Prison Planet with Paul, follow it all on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. You'll be able to see the live broadcast. But not for long if they have their way. Not for long. Jamie White wrote a story for Infowars.com and News Wars yesterday, and I saw it during the show, and I was aware we were brought up during the hearings last Friday, but I hadn't read the transcript or watched large segments of it because I'm used to Congress and mainstream media and the globalists, lying about us and saying we should be shut up. They're just trying to get us all conditioned to the fact that, oh, we're going to ban your free speech and just shut you up or put you in prison for no reason. How's that sound? And they've even kind of gotten me comfortable with it. Like, oh, those are the gallows you're building for me. You're going to march me up there and hang me. But you're going to bring me a 6-pack of beer first, right? I mean, that's how crazy this is. And then I started watching the videos. And then I started reading the transcripts. And this went on for hours. But I'm going to play just 2 short clips for you right now in the interest of time. And it is truly unbelievable. They have Congressman Wigley. You can't make that up, from Illinois. To me, he just looks like the son of Dennis Hastert. Just saying. Just looks just like him. Talks just like him. Has the same affect. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying, he's a creepy looking dude. But the point is, he's also involved in all sorts of globalist operations. He is a creepy person when it comes to assaulting our Bill of Rights and our Constitution. And Mr. Piggly Wiggly gets up there with the heads of Google, Twitter, and Facebook, the actual heads of operations. And boy, if these guys aren't spooks, I'm a monkey's uncle. I mean, these are intelligence operatives right out of Langley, baby, and right out of the NSA. So he's got government operatives right in front of him in the tech operations that Trump's about to break up with antitrust operations against these foreign globalist satellites that have gotten control of our country. And he says, InfoWars put out fake news that's everywhere. And what are we going to do about it? And they go on to say, yes, we know it's fake. We want to get rid of it. We're working with AI, artificial intelligence, to shut down free speech. So they're making the internet a human-free zone more and more. If you don't go along with what the machine minders want, they censor you. Imagine a science fiction book by Isaac Asimov where that's happening. Oh, the public would never put up with that in iRobot. But they will here in the real world. So what did they say was the fake news? Imam, I warned de Blasio about New York City terror. He was too busy bashing Trump. The Imam, who I want to get on, Mohammed Tawahidi, has been all over Fox, all over everywhere, all over talk radio. He's gone and spoken to Blasio on television. He's warned him. He's had demonstrations. He's gone and shown the mosque that would do it. We have the videos and the tweets in the article by Paul Joseph Watson. Let's put that on screen, please, and for TV viewers, so we can scroll through it. So this is a well-known guy that's all over television, very credible, been part of BBC documentaries, you name it. It's what he does is he goes around to mosque and he identifies who's calling for violence and he tells the police. And then, of course, he was right. Turned out ISIS a month before was taking photos, the very guy, of what he was planning. He brought 28 members of his family in, on and on and on. How do they respond? They say we're fake news, need to be shut down, and then use this as an example of fake news when all we did was report on a public figure who's on record traveling to London, England, New York, Australia, you name it, showing the mosque for a decade. And he's been on TV warning de Blasio, you have terrorists in New York. Months ago, it was on Fox News. He's been on Sean Hannity saying they're going to attack with trucks. It's coming. We've said that. It happens. It's the very visa program that Trump's killed that brought him in. We're proven right. And in their alchemy, they have the tech heads up there admitting that they're trying to censor us, defaming us and saying we're fake news. But then a congressman comes back, a Republican congressman, didn't know who this guy was very well, but I love him now, and says, wait a minute. This article you mentioned, they're just reporting on somebody's tweets. How is that fake news? And they can't say. And he goes, yeah, you can't say because it's not. Because that congressman's going, wait, I've seen this imam on TV warning New York and warning the Chicago and warning Deerfield, Michigan. They're like, wait a minute, we've all heard this guy warn everybody. Well, InfoWars is real. InfoWars is next year's news today. That's why we're hated. So let's start getting to these clips. Let's go to the first clip here of Piggly Wiggly. Lawmaker demands Twitter censor InfoWars. Here's Congressman Mike Quigley. Here it is.
Let's look at unpaid content for a second. Sometimes these fake accounts are pulled down, but the fake story takes the false claims of widespread voter fraud, for example, generated by these accounts have spread thousands of times, often picked up by legitimate news accounts.
And Harvard just confirmed.
Flag that. What do you sense?
More illegals voted than he even said.
Let me just notice this, that if we're asking is, are we still in this situation? As of just a short time ago, and I'm talking about when this meeting started, on Twitter, if you clicked on the hashtag NYC terrorist attack, which is, quote, trending, marked with a red button saying, quote, live, the top tweet links to an InfoWars story with the headline, Imam, I warned de Blasio about New York City terror. He was too busy bashing Trump. This is a real-time example of when we talk about this information being weaponized.
Look at the feigned concern.
How quickly can you act, and what's your responsibility to set the record straight so that the people who saw this know that it's fake news, and at least at some point in time, it can't keep spreading like some sort of virus through the legitimate world.
We're a virus.
That's something we're thinking about all the time because it's a bad user experience, and we don't want to be known as a platform for that. In your example, for instance,
this code just says we're fake when we're linked to news articles and tweets and videos of the imam on Fox, all over. Everybody knows who he is, saying, watch out. They got terrorists getting ready to hit New York with cars. And then we're proven right. And then he just goes to Twitter, Google, and Facebook, and they go, oh, don't worry. We're trying to shut them down. And next they say we're going to use AI to do it. Then we have to go to break. We're going to come back. And then I'm going to play the other congressman, the Republican, going, this story's real. Everybody knows about this. So, again, they're trying to pull a fast one here. Here it is.
For instance, the system self-corrected. That shouldn't be the first tweet you see anymore. It should be a USA article the last time I checked.
Oh, hit pause again. Sorry. This is so phenomenal. Back it up 10 seconds. The system self-corrected. Yeah, we're number one because we're the most interesting. We tell the truth. They whack us down. The system self-corrected. So next you'll see a USA Today article. See? We'll force feed you mainstream, Congress. We'll censor real quick. We won't let you know that de Blasio has parades for jihadists that make funding for bombing Israel. I mean, you can't make this up. Let's continue.
What you see anymore should be a USA article the last time I checked.
But you saw this.
USA Today. At lunch I did, yeah. And I also saw the system corrected.
Can you give me a really good guess on how long it was top?
We can follow up with you and your staff on that, and I don't have the stat in front of me.
They're all colluding
so I don't know.
In the censorship. Hit pause. I'm going to come back where they talk about, sir, we need computers to watch him in real time. We will stop Alex Jones. He's like, good. And then the other congressman goes, this is very dangerous. You guys have weaponized this. Everybody knows de Blasio's coddling jihadis. I mean, they're all admitting that they're involved in racketeering against the First Amendment in Congress in real time, trying to stop us.